I know where Claudia got this song from. Now, I'm literally sitting at places singing it.
But the song is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting there talking about pepper soup. But she pronouncing pepper, yeah, like pepper. Pepper soup.
But talk so. You know that when you have a real Liberian pepper soup, you can really enjoy.
No, that true.
Yeah.
That one not true.
Especially when you get your fish from the children at EWA Junction there. Fresh.
EFW, SKD, or SD Kuba.
SD Cobra Road.
Kubaro. Oh yeah. Pepper soup. Drink pepper soup. Watch him put cassava in this one. Cassava fish.
This one I normal this one. Then I can tell fish.
Yeah, cassava fish no more there.
That post water can tell fish started coming out.
And snapper. Yeah. Yeah, I wish we could get in touch with this woman. Well, we shall get started. We should get in touch with her.
Still living?
Well, honey, Calypso, Rose.
Rose.
Yeah, we should get in touch with her. Yeah, I looked her up and she's still alive. So, well. Welcome. It's Sunday, October 3rd. It's a new month, new focus, new goal. Let me turn this Calypso Rose Pepper Soup. The only thing I'm missing from this song is the way she pronouncing Pepper Soup. But so welcome to Salamartu and Friends, where we have conversations that are very diverse, relating to topics on business, relationships, politics, social issues. Did I say relationships, families, and of course, our hot issues, the hot topics that's happening within the Liberian community, and this is all done by the vibrant personalities of Charlene and Claude. And of course, Robina is in here today. Yeah, Wednesday, someone I job. Yeah. So her job, she can't be with us today. If she's able to join in later, that would be great. But we're here every Sunday at about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. GMT. That's Monrovia time. Facebook Live.
9 p.m. BST.
Sorry, please say again. British.
9 p.m. British Standard Time.
9 p.m. British Standard Time. And you can also follow us on Salamartu and Friends. And don't forget to share with your network, your family. And of course, if you have any questions or suggestions, please inbox me. If you miss an episode, we have everything loaded on salamartu.com. It is Salamartu, Salamartu. Got to spell it right way now. Salamartu, the way it should be pronounced, but Salamartu. As you know, October is Mental Health Awareness Month, and this is the perfect time to kick off our self-care series. So we would like to do this at least maybe once a month, where we just kind of talk about issues surrounding self-care. And helping us kick off our self-care series is our very, very special guest, Tanya Yardea Young. Hi. So you prefer Tanya or you prefer Yade?
We're in a Liberian setting, so let's keep it Yade.
Yes, Yade. It's Yade or Yade? Yadea.
Yade.
Oh.
Yeah. Ambassador,
Finish. Yardea. What does it mean? What's the
bring
meaning
it
of it?
back. Ambassador means bring it back.
I love it.
What it bringing back?
Anything.
All
Bring
the
it back.
goodness, all the fullness, the richness of life. We're bringing it all back.
So just a brief introduction about who Yardea is. Yardea is a mental health professional who has been in the field of mental health counseling for over 20 years, providing therapeutic services to clients, clinical supervision to staff, and program management. She obtained her Master's of Arts in Counseling Psychology with a focus in community health, community mental health from Towson University, Maryland. For her undergraduate studies, she attended St. Augustine's College in North Carolina and obtained her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology with a minor in political science. She is the founder of and psychotherapist at Peace Be Still. I like that. Peace Be Still, a mental health counseling agency in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, which focus on providing culturally competent mental health services for African immigrants, disenfranchised and marginalized population that would not traditionally access therapy and counseling service. Hi, Yardea. And thank you so much for being our guest host. Whether you accepting this other invitation or not, you will be our resident. You'll be our resident therapist.
Ooh, okay.
Oh yeah. So when we talking, we say we got our lawyer, and we have our resident therapist. People will know they're not playing with small journey. But welcome. Thank you so much for taking this time to join us. Before we get into the hot topics or the discussion on self-care, and of course, today we'll be focusing on the mental state of mind after a breakup. But before we get to all of that, we want to find out how did y'all spend your week? Miss Charlene, because the way you're looking fresh, man.
Oh,
You look like you enjoy yourself this week.
oh no.
Yeah, talking.
No, this week was just a typical regular week. You know, we spent our whole week preparing for the president's birthday. So it was a big event, and we just saw a lot of things happening. So I mean, it was just a regular week for me. The weekend was long. I actually stayed out of the streets on Friday because I know once there's these type of big celebrations going on, the streets get crowded. The people are, jubilating, and sometimes they get obnoxious. So I was home on Friday, so I worked from home, and Saturday and Sunday again, I've been home. So it was another typical regular week for me. Nothing too extravagant, but just preparations for the president's birthday. So it was exciting.
So did you go to some of the festivities?
Ma'am, I said I stayed home to stay out of away from the traffic and away from all the excitement of the events.
Okay. Friday.
Claudia, how was your week?
It looked like she went to some kind of presidential celebration in the UK.
I'm telling you.
My weekend, it was good. Went to London, went out, had some friends, partied. I'm tired. Old age, you can party after 2 hours. You got to rest for 3 months before you go back again. But
Oh, wow.
That's true.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think I had a really quiet weekend. Yardea, how was your weekend?
It's been nice. It's been quiet, very eventful. 2 more months left in the year. So I've been doing a lot of planning and wrapping things up. So that's been exciting and stressful at the same time.
Yeah. And it seemed like, honestly, it seemed like this year has gone by so fast. I don't know if we say this every year around this time.
Every year.
Yeah, but it just seemed like this year, honestly, just kind of went by real fast. I wish 2020 had gone this fast, I should say. But it's been very quiet. It's been a very, very quiet week for me. I literally rested. I actually read. Yeah, I didn't read a book. I've gotten over that. I actually read a lot of magazines.
Nice.
I have that's Venus on the cover. I love Venus.
Okay.
So I read that. I got a copy of Essence. It's just been a while since I actually just read a magazine. So I just relaxed. And looking on here, we see Glendy is on. I think a lot of people don't know that we started an hour early. Because I'm starting to get that a lot. People are saying, you guys are starting early. I see Glendy, hi. They're saying, hey, you guys started early. Yeah, we started an hour early because some of the ladies on here, they needed self-care. They needed to be on here a little early. And so we had to do an hour. I'm calling you. I'm calling Noni. Yeah, and we have Eileen who is on. But so I just hope more people will join later, and we will monitor the comments if you have any comments as we have the discussion on self-care. This is extremely important, and one of the reasons why I even started doing this platform was to allow women the opportunity to speak. I realized that within our Liberian community, the women, a lot of the conversations that's happening that evolving the community, whether it's social, whether it's political, the women really don't get involved because most of this, the men talking or the politics, I don't want to talk about politics. And so we just don't talk. However, with everything that's going on, it's extremely important that, I'm big on women's participation in everything, whether it's politics, whether it's business, whether it's leadership, whether it's just talking about your feelings. And this is something you don't usually find within our African or even the Liberian community. And talking about your feelings, not necessarily exposing or your personal business per se, but voicing your opinion. And this was one of the reasons why I created this platform mostly for women to have an opportunity to share their point of view on all of the topics, the different topics. I'm sorry, now and then I was trying to get the beautiful background. So when I start hearing noise behind me and I turn around, when I turn around, yeah, y'all see something coming by. my girl move. So that was the reason. But before we get into the self-care, we want to jump into some of the hot topics that happened this week. This week was a busy week. And of course, the biggest thing that happened was President George Mane Weah's birthday celebration week. So he turned 55 on October 1st, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we celebrated the entire weekend.
No.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait, really? We celebrate on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
I don't know if a Saturday or Sunday event. Well, maybe he went to church today, but everything happened on Friday. There were like several events. They started out at 12 o'clock on October 1st. They went to his house and sang happy birthday. So they literally pulled him out of his house and sang happy birthday. He had a whole crew of people in his yard. And then in the morning, there was a group of people from the youth wing. They went to his mother's grave to tell her, thank you for giving us such an amazing leader. They had an event at the party's headquarters. And of course, they had the big, huge party that happened at Jamaica Resort. But I don't know of anything that happened on Saturday and on Sunday, anything specific to the birthday celebration.
For some reason, I thought most of the activity was happening yesterday on Saturday.
No,
So
it's Friday.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. You sure you don't go to another routine there? Got to wait.
No, I didn't go.
Okay.
I didn't get an invitation.
what here's my, I mean, honestly, if anybody loves birthdays, that's me. Personally,
don't.
I think, yeah, I enjoy my birthday. If I have to celebrate for like 40 something days, I would celebrate for 40 something days. Okay. But I think, there was a lot of talk on social media. I'm sorry, I'm not in Liberia, so I had to listen to the social media talk. But there was a lot of news trending, and it really wasn't in good favor. There was a lot of citizens who wish him a happy birthday, but at the same time, it was just like, did we honestly need this show off of a birthday party on a Friday on the what people assume it was happening on Saturday. And of course, I think he went to preach on Sunday today. Did we need this elaborate show, especially when we have the situation in Ghana where the government isn't addressing, and we have the situation with the alleged, I guess I should say, what is there, the killings, the murders that's happening in Liberia, that according to the police recently, that it just it's not happening. They don't have, not that they don't have any proof, that it's just not happening. People are sensationalizing this. What are your thoughts?
Nobody has an opinion. My thought on it is, Salamartu, there's somebody behind you for real. No, but my thought on it is, yeah, it was, or it is probably a show of like a disconcern when the country is going through such a difficult time to be hosting an elaborate event. Like you said, you of all people, you enjoy birthdays, you love to celebrate your birthday. And the jovial personality that President Weah is, I know he probably does love to celebrate his birthday as well. And it may seem a little bit hypocritical to say, well, maybe you should have done it quietly. Have your elaborate events, do whatever you want to do, but do it quietly. Don't push it down the citizens' throats for us to know like you're having such a big thing. So it's hypocritical because I'm saying, okay, well, have your big party, but don't bring it out to the public for us to know. So some people would say, but that's what's happening. So why not let the public know? Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, the moment that it gets out there, the backlash comes from having such an event, and the citizens are crying, like you mentioned earlier. This talk about the ritualistic killings, the dead bodies that are being found in the street, all of those things that are happening, and there hasn't been a statement made yet from the executive. The Liberia National Police made mention of it or had a press conference about it, which they kind of downplayed it. But I just think that enjoy your birthday, enjoy, celebrate being who you are and celebrate, the 55 years that you're on Earth, but kind of tweak it so that it doesn't seem like you're being insensitive to what's happening in the country.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that was part of the issue a lot of people had, when people were joking about the cake.
That cake.
Well, according to some people, I will not call their name because it will count on here, but it was tutu cake.
The cake was ugly. Whoever did that cake, it was ugly. I'm sorry, but
no, that cake was ugly.
They need to practice more.
Like him.
And whoever organized the party needs to understand. I mean, it's not like before where you don't have ideas and you have to base your organization skills on what you are familiar with. We have Pinterest, we have internet. I'm just really not happy with the localness of the party. If I may use it,
you weren't invited
as a word. Yeah, I mean, for that statue, if you want to do something and you want to set a mark, make sure that you invest in finding the right people so that it is appropriate, so that you are represented well. The ambience, the setup, the decor, the food, the presentation. Let it represent who you are, what you stand for. Even if it doesn't represent who you are, let it represent your office,
Yeah.
And I just feel that whoever they give the contractor to do that, they don't only need to fire them, they need to flog them too, because they disgrace us. I'm serious. Whoever is, if I know you personally, you see me in the street and you don't speak to me, then that's fine. But
Do you know it to
there's a time where we have to put our hands together, socially. If you are given a contract and you are not equipped to deliver on that contract, go and ask someone else. People need to stop being greedy. If you cannot do something, find someone who can do them, share some of the money with them, and make sure that you have a signature that people can relate to.
Yeah.
I cannot go to that party and see it, even ask who organized this party. You're not going to get money. You may be fortunate to have been given that platform, and that's a really big platform to show off yourself, to do whatever was done down there.
Yeah, and the picture didn't even look like him. I think besides the fact that the cake looked like the Leaning Tower, that was not my issue. Maybe that was the star. Yeah. Besides the fact that it just had very different.
It was the first thing, the colors on the cake. I don't know whether they use Ganesh or which one of the icing powders they use. You have to understand certain things. If you're doing things for outdoor or you're doing it for indoor, there are certain finishing that you can use. That cake was really heavy. You can't do that amount of tear the way you did it like that.
Yeah,
they didn't have the proper brace for it. I mean, there's so many things that could have been, that is so simple that could have been done right. Even the color, they did not even mix the color to be appropriate. I just think it was just completely sloppy of the person who did that cake. I'm sorry, if I knew them, I would have sent them text message. I mean, not to spoil their business, but if they want to keep on doing something like that, they have to up their game. I mean, they didn't represent Liberia, I swear.
Well, just so you guys know, it was not a Liberian company. It was a Lebanese-owned company. I think it's called Cremino or something. The place that's right there on Tubman Boulevard.
Did it?
Yes.
That get ugly.
I mean, I've seen their work. Yeah, that's.
No, they did it because they posted it on their social media page.
Yeah, man.
I mean, everybody is subject to making a mistake, and sorry that it happened to have been on the biggest stage for them to make that type of mistake. But yeah, it was that company that made the cake.
Wow.
And second thing, we all understand the position of the first office in the country. I think we should also be concerned about misusing our signs and symbols and stuff.
Yeah, the flag.
Ways that we can do things and be elegant. Why do you have 500 flags on a piece of cake? Why do you have the red, white, and blue so misused in such a small space? This is a lot of work. There are a lot of Liberians that have put time and effort into learning about decoration and about food services and organization. And I think these are opportunities where these people need to be given a chance to show themselves. You can't keep talking about growing small businesses and then keep giving businesses to outsiders to do. It is not right. It is not even fair on a part of Liberians, because we do not have these schools here. We do not have, a catering school or cakery or those kind of things. So these Liberians that does, this kind of artistic works, is a lot of effort on their part. They have to self-train. Some of them have to travel to different countries for months, and to even input the stuff that they have to use, they go through a lot of stress, to get the stuff presentable. So it just don't sit right for them to be ignored and you find someone else to do it only because you think they are somehow superior to those that are just starting but have better taste. I don't even know if they
But
care
you know
about
what,
Yeah.
Claudia, you make a very good point. And maybe perhaps, we need to keep repeating this. You're right. I don't think a lot of people understand the importance of the seat of the presidency. And if you don't understand the presidency, you most certainly would not understand or respect the symbols and the signs of the country.
Exactly.
So, you just do it any which kind of way, where some countries, by the time they see that, like, they're probably ready to go grab the person for treason almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, there are a lot of people who are extremely proud of the colors, the flag, the presidency. Forget the person who is sitting in the seat. That particular seat, you may not have voted for that person. You may even disagree with some of the policies that they're implementing, but you respect the actual seat. And because you respect the seat, you have a level of respect for the person who sits there as well. So you won't do things like this. Very beautiful. I'm trying to read some of the comments. I think someone said, Elma Shah, hi, Elma, says that perhaps maybe the cake tasted sweet. I really hope so.
What you consider sweet now?
But
I heard somebody actually posted on Facebook and me and I had been found out it was sweet.
Yeah.
What do you consider sweet? Obviously, it's sugar and butter and flour. So what do you consider? No, because there are a lot of things that we try. The thing is that if we keep saying it would be better, it's never going to be better. We need to pinpoint things when they are not done properly. Even if they are our friends or our relatives, we need to say it. We can't keep backing for, things that are wrong. The cake, obviously that cake looking at that, I know very well the butter was not correct. Seriously. That cake
maybe the butter wasn't correct.
That cake looking at shortbread.
Well,
I don't even think it was fluffy enough.
The thing is, the stage that this is on, we're not going to taste it. Most of the citizens are not going to taste it. Most of the friends of Liberia, the people who look at us, they're not going to taste it. So presentation at this point becomes extremely important.
Exactly.
So whether it tasted so good or it didn't taste good, it was about presentation. And that goes a long way when we start talking about, the celebration. But
sometimes in other places for ambience sake, you even use false cake. You use a fake cake to present the style that you want. And then you have another cake at the back that you use for serving because you want a specific look. You want the pictures to appear in a certain way. Sometimes you even do maybe only one tier and then the rest of it would just be, styrofoam or something else decorated to make the presentation that you want. People need to, hopefully, get the right people next time.
We wish President George Manenwia a very happy birthday, 55th birthday. And I'm glad, I think you did enjoy your day. Now, the other hot topic that's been happening is I guess, an update now on the People's Liberation Party Secretary General, Mr. David Bien, who reported last week that he was attacked by pimp. Claudia, I will not have you laughing. He was attacked by pimping drivers, and the pimping driver shot him. But the police investigated, and they found out that, one, it was a lie, that he actually told the nurse at the hospital when he got to the hospital that he shot himself. So I don't know, between leaving the hospital and get in touch with the media, why that story just drastically changed. Nevertheless, he has confessed that he shot himself. But do we know if it was intentional? Did he it wasn't an accident? Did he say if it was an accident? Because now they're bringing criminal charges against him. He's the Secretary General of one of the political parties in Liberia. So I don't think in the political party who's also in opposition to the current administration. So I think the people vexed, the police then vexed right now.
The political party has suspended him as he's acting Secretary General. So he's been suspended from the political party. The only statement that was made was when he said he was trailed by these pimping drivers and shot. So he has not made a statement since then refuting the first story. So there hasn't been anything coming back saying, okay, this is what actually happened. The conversation he had it with the nurse, and then the police did further interrogation, and they found out that he actually shot himself because they found the shell casing in his car seat. And then he confessed that he actually shot himself. So then they asked him where was the gun. He told them where the gun was. He carried him and they found the gun. So the whole story about the pimping thing is a complete fracas. But he's been suspended from his political party, and that's where it is. The police have said they will charge him with something. They have not yet charged him, or at least that have not been put out there in the public as of yet.
Yeah.
But he must be given an award to though. You know how to put something together.
Now that story, I mean, as it will come in, I think there's a lot of people who started talking to him. People are just like, nah, it don't sound right. People actually said that he
With human nature, it doesn't make sense in the middle of the night where you see two guys purposely looking like they're targeting you to get down from your car and tell them to leave the road because you need to pass. In every case, you either reverse or try to call someone on your phone to let them know you have suspicious activity or something. But the thing people can do for attention, I mean.
What was the most alarming or the most shocking part about it was the location of where he was shot.
Yeah.
If there's, people trying to assassinate you, they're not shooting your leg unless you're actually fighting them and they, then the bullet goes off.
Accidentally, goes off.
But nobody is targeting your leg in order for them to kill you. So, but anyway, we know David Bean personally, so I kind of feel guilty and feel bad talking about it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm glad he's okay. Yeah. But and then another story that happened this week. Well, it's apparently been happening over the past couple of weeks, but there was a letter that came out this week. It was so long I didn't even read it. And this was a communication from Mr. Haji Charles MacArthur. He's the former Buchanan Port manager on this whole corruption saga. But I know, Charlene, you said you read it. I think, Claudia, you too, you read it. Read the letter, the communication.
I actually did read it. And
please explain the story for those people who don't know the story.
Claudia, you gotta help me. It was so long and so verbose that there would be plenty of places that I will leave out. But it was about like 50, because they were all screenshots that they posted on Facebook. So of course I read through the screenshots. And he was just basically saying that it was just so long. Okay, just basically said there was some kind of $300,000 that they accused him of taking. Mm-hmm. And then he turned around and said, no, I didn't take $300,000. It was only $30,000. The other, I don't know what happened to it. He said the port, what's the guy's name for the port?
The managing director. Yeah, the managing director for the national port, right?
For the national port. He basically was instructing him on how to transfer the money. There was some communication between them and Salamartu. Is that Salamartu? Yeah. So it was Salamartu. So they were supposed to run this deal, and Salamartu was supposed to get a percentage of whatever the deal was. Each time Salamartu would deposit money into the Buchanan Ports account, the managing director of the National Port Authority would say, transfer the money. Yeah, the chief said, I'm gonna transfer the money. So the people at Salamartu never got any money. So they got upset and they decided they wanted to do a fake bill. So they would create this bill so they could get some money back. So I don't know if it's the hierarchy of Salamartu, we just call them the guys from Salamartu. Yeah. So they created this thing where they said they were gonna do a fake bill So this fake bill was going to be given to the port, the Buchanan port, in order for them to get a cut of that money. Your man, the what was he? What was he? The acting director? What was he at the port in
So
Buchanan?
he was the port manager in Buchanan.
So the port manager said, okay, cool. He agrees. He goes to his boss, the Bill Toire, and says, this is what he guys want to do, da, 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 da. So he says, Bill Toire says, how much do I get for it? He said, but I can't go tell the people because the people already know you haven't given them the first money that they, you were supposed to give them in the first place. So he went back to the people, yeah, my boss may agree, da, 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 da. So they went through that whole thing. So then they opened a separate account, and this is where he, admits his fault, because the money had to have been deposited, or the check had to have been written to a National Port Authority account. So they ended up opening a separate account so this money could be transferred there. And once they found out, then the managing director, of course, got upset. And then there was this other company. What's the company that Kanyo and
Tanya is at the Liberia Anti-Corruption.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have the National Port Authority, which oversees all of the ports in Liberia. So National Port Authority is based at the Freeport of Liberia. This is where most of our trade activities happen. So there's a lot of money that's coming in at that location. And then in Buchanan, that's one of the ports. So you have Buchanan Port, you actually have the port in Sino that's not operational. Then you have the port in Maryland. And then I think there's one in Robertsport, but none of those are active. So Buchanan and Freeport are like the two active port, right? The guy MacArthur, he's the manager. So his boss is the Bill Tower man, who is the head of all the ports in Liberia, but he's based in Monrovia, directing him allegedly to redirect money into an account of a company that is owned by the what is he Kanyo, he's at the Anti-Corruption Commission. This is the agency that's
private company.
Yeah, he now open private company now. He's at the Anti-Corruption Agency. They're the one who's supposed to be preventing or disciplining people for corruption. He got company. This thing is like a movie. He allegedly, we will keep using the word allegedly, he has a company that he owns, and Bill Tawier, who is also at the NPA, he actually is the owner in the company, and they're redirecting money and putting it into this company. So the guy at the port decided he gonna snitch, he gonna talk. They wanted to arrest him. They never arrested him, right? They just put the travel ban on him.
They did arrest him. They arrested him, and they kept saying, because the statement that he made, he kept making mention of the managing director. So they kept saying, no, we cannot allow that statement to be your statement. You have to come back and admit that you are the one who took this money. So of course he kept saying, no, he wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to do that. So like, what's the matter? If you don't want to do that, then we'll call NSA, we'll call this, we'll call that. So of course he felt like certain things have happened in the country that, obviously frightened him. So he's like, look, let me just tell the people, yeah, I took the money so I can kind of, find my way. So after he wrote his statement, he said he wrote a couple of statements, and then they did a recording. So he had to read the statement, and they secretly recorded him reading this statement that he took the money, da 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 da. So they were able to let him go. So he said when he got home, he told his fiance that he was going to Buchanan. So he packed his backpack and headed straight to the border. Said he went through the bushes, got on a canoe, everything, left, went to Sierra Leone, took his COVID test, everything. I think he stayed in Sierra Leone for like 5 days, and then he was gone. He flew out and went to the States. Yeah.
So the letter that he wrote recently, last week, he actually wrote the letter from the US. He left the continent, went back to the US, and he wrote this like long letter, just kind of detailing.
WhatsApp message
detailing everything.
Yeah, my concern was, who did he write it to? Because the person he wrote it to was the person who screenshot it.
And
Yeah, but
It doesn't, okay, so the letter was addressed, I just pulled it up, it says, Dear President Weah,
exactly.
LACC Chairman Martin, Speaker Chamber, Senate Pro Temp Chair, Chief Justice Kokwa, and the Liberian people. So basically, he just wanted it out there.
he sent it, yeah, he more than likely sent it to all of those people and then sent it to whoever he wanted to put it out in the press.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where he talked about this this LACC boss thing. But y'all go ahead, let me find it in all of your orders.
Yeah. But you in a way.
I mean, the thing is, I think the end line of this whole dishonest saga is more with the young people not saying what they're supposed to say at the appropriate time, or acting with, with honesty in the line of work. He only was able to say something about all this because it is, at the end, it had backfired on him. And that is really, really, really wrong. If he felt at the beginning it was something that he wasn't happy with, it should have been dealt with. It's always the case, in these political offices of, appointment, people will only come to the public, or people will only try to confess after the fact, after they have already done wrong, and they know there's the blame have been shifted on them. And then they're like, okay, since I know there's no way to go now, let me say the truth. You should be saying the truth from the beginning. If you are put in a role where, I mean, the port is one of the best places where you can get Liberia to be fixed. So whoever is assigned at whatever port it is, you have to try to do things in the proper way. It's our gateway, it's our economy you're talking about. If we have people, I don't know how long such things, went on for. It's only coming to the public now because somebody did not agree to be true.
I think the reason why he wasn't truthful initially was his hands were in a cookie jar as well. But when they tried to make it seem like the whole cookie jar, he picked up the whole cookie jar and ran with it, was when he was like, no, y'all not gonna do that to me. Y'all will not throw me under the bus. So if I'm going down, we all going down, especially when you're not trying to protect me. If you're gonna protect the guy and say, okay, you will have to take the fall for us, we will take care of you in the long run, but they weren't doing that. It was like, no, that man, I took it. So they were pointing fingers at him. So you're like, no, I'm not going down by myself, since we all did it and we didn't do it collaboratively. Y'all kind of strong arm me into doing it anyway. So then I would be a snitch and just talk.
I have a question. Who broke the story? Because it seemed like everybody who was involved was being dishonest. Everybody who was involved, everybody that names were calling, they were involved some kind of way. So who decided to open the mouth and talk?
The sacrificial lamb, of course.
No, but he had.
No. The reason the story came out because he was suspended. Remember? So when the president suspended him, or whoever suspended him, the story came out that he was suspended. So that's how they started,
suspended for this?
Yes. Yeah. He was suspended because of opening this other account, unauthorized account. So that's why they suspended him, and then they sent him for investigation. So that's how the story came out. And that's how he
smart way to steal with other people. I mean, yeah. All of y'all stealing, the man do well, then you want to suspend him? Then you think he will not? I mean, it doesn't make sense. All for all going to the bank. We steal. Just because one person drop one bag, you get vexed. You won't punish that man, so you will call the police and say that the man was one of the bank robbers when you know all of y'all were in the bank at the same time.
Anyway. It's just the focus, that's all. We have to just hope that we have people that are focused in
There are
uplifting.
people who have integrity, people who know that from the time they were small, stealing is wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, integrity comes with it comes with a lot of effort, you know.
It comes with an
I
effort if you are raised like that, Claudia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of
Yeah,
effort.
if
It's
somebody
something
raised
that
you
you
to say
gather
please
over
and thank you,
time.
even when you're mad, it's natural. If you from the time you're small, you've been stealing, maybe nobody caught you doing that your whole life, nobody caught you. But integrity, if you have it, you have it. It's not
Exactly.
hard work.
It
Yeah.
comes a long time of, practice, and self-consciousness. A lot of people that have this position, the first thing, anyway, I hope, thank God we're already coming, we're going to be talking about, mental.
Okay.
Yeah, first thing, a lot of these people, they are not even self-aware, they're not self-conscious, they do not have any kind of self-esteem. Their only way to relate to society or to people around it is by either showing off or trying to show some sort of superiority by having more money or wearing specific fancy stuff or so they are already lost when they are have the opportunity to be at those kind of positions. So there's no way that they will have any sense of conscience to help them to do the right thing because they just have not had that experience before.
And let me add, my belief is I believe in reward and consequences. And when there's a lack of either one of it, that's when I think people start to act up. You have a lot of these people who are in position, who are making money. And most of these positions in any other places will be occupied by people who have worked their way up, people who have the experience. Because when you work your way up, there's a certain level of discipline that comes with starting from here and working your way up. That you know that you're dependent on your job or you're dependent on your career. So when they put you somewhere to manage money, you just not going to take it and put it in your pocket because you also realize that you're responsible for so many other people behind you. So a lot of the people that we do see, one, there's no discipline. You don't see any trail of discipline because they literally were doing this and then somebody just took them and dropped them in one position, one top level position where they more than likely never managed anybody, never managed more than $20,000. I always joke with the small businesses when they say, oh, they need money to grow their business. I said, how much you need? Oh, I need $50,000. I need $100,000. And my first question to them, I'm like, have you managed $50,000 before? Do you know when somebody giving you a loan, they want to know that you're able to, you not at least manage 5 or 10, or you can show them that you're able to manage it. You never managed $50,000 before. Do you know what can happen when somebody just take money you've never seen before and give it to you? So, that's why I believe reward and consequences. Then you put these people in these positions where they've never really worked for it to be rewarded at these positions. They end up stealing. This story here, unless we continue to talk about it, it will go down. We will stop talking about it. There will be no consequences. The only consequences that might happen for him will be his friend that were in the cookie jar will be vexed with him, and it will cut a speech for him moving forward. But whether the country will get to see somebody actually get disciplined for stealing, because that's what it is. It's stealing. We will not see it. There's no consequence in Liberia. There's absolutely no consequence. The only thing we literally seem to get upset at is very personal. When somebody steal our personal money or somebody sleep with our girlfriend or boyfriend, then everything becomes extremely important. But the country money, I beg you, yeah. I will see next week talking about it.
In other places, you may not have people being publicly punished by their wrongdoing, but sometimes you find people will have conscience and try to resign or try to take responsibility. We don't even have that in Liberia. So so if you're waiting for punishment, people don't even have any kind of remorse for any wrongdoing. They feel they're entitled to whatever happens. They're entitled to whatever wrong thing they do. So that is a really, really long overhaul we need to do to get anywhere close to finding a solution to being dishonest in public office.
Well, anyway, we'll continue to keep our eyes out for it. And we wanted to talk about what was happening in Ghana with the Liberian refugees who are set to be evicted this week. So we're going to have Leo come on next week to just talk about the situation, because, you know, I spoke with him and it's not as simple as we thought it was. We thought maybe, oh, the people, they need to go home, they need to do this, they need to do that. But as we saw last week, they issue these residents. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's like dogs walking behind. They issued the residents, the refugees, a residency permit that said they were not allowed to work and they were not allowed to do business. So of course, the first question is, okay, how do we survive? But the other issue is also in regards to, I'm sorry, there's a dog walking, and the dog in the fence is, you should see his little tiny self acting like he can fight. Like he can fight the dog that actually walking outside. But the other issue was that can Ghana legally evict the people from the country without giving them the opportunity to formally integrate into their country under the ECOWAS protocols? So next week we'll have Leo on to talk about it, because he's worked a lot with the refugees in the Budambaram camp.
Salamartu,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Are they being evicted from the camp, or are they being deported from Ghana?
They're being evicted from the camp, but if you're evicted from the camp, that means you are in Ghana, but you cannot work and you cannot do business. So,
but they're still legally in the country.
Yeah.
Without the rights to
you
work.
you have your residency card to live there. Yeah, but you just can, as ECOWAS said, you really can move freely. You can do those things. So
no, it'll be good to talk about it, to know, what are the next steps.
I mean, within the ECOWAS belt, as a West African, you should be able to live in a country freely for a certain amount of time. I think 90 days. And then after that, in 90 days, you can live and work and you can do business. And then after that, 90 days, you can register whatever you're doing and extend your stay according to the process of the country. So
yeah,
hopefully Leo will, tell us what is happening. I don't know, maybe it will be a good thing. I will try to see if I can find a lawyer friend who's Ghanaian and knows much about their immigration. Maybe we can see if that works to have them on too.
Yeah. All right. So we're in our second hour, and now we're about to, I know, Yardea, you've been very quiet. We've been we just we've been gossiping about our country. The issues plenty though, but we'll lead one. I wanted to talk about the realistic killings. LMP came out and said it's not happening. They don't have any proof that it's happening, and they were done with that. But of course, we know that there's a lot of photos going on social media. There's a lot of people in Liberia who are calling people in the community and say we're finding their bodies. But I will tell you a story why I believe this is happening. And maybe all of the pictures that I posted on social media may not be, but so this was in 2012. This was my first New Year's in Liberia. And my cousin and I decided we're going to look for Blue Lake. Neither one of us had ever been to Blue Lake in Liberia. Blue Lake is located in Tottenburg. So we decided it would be an adventure. We'll get in the car, and we knew it was in Tottenburg. So we will just stop along the way and ask people, like, where is Blue Lake in Tottenburg? So we started, of course, Monrovia, driving, go through Douala. As we stop, we'll ask people, where is Blue Lake? Oh, where, Tanya? Keep going. And honestly, it was like this one highway. You just stay on the highway. You just keep going. You go through Montserrat into Bombay, and you stay on the highway. You don't turn off. And as we stop, just asking several people, we were approaching these two girls. One of them were pregnant, and they both had pins or something on their head. So as we're approaching them, we're slowing down, trying to get off the main road to put the window down and ask no question. The two ladies, they literally dropped the stuff and took off running. So as they took off running, we start laughing. We said, oh, where you running for? They look, said, oh, said, ah. So they came, they said, was scared. We said, but why you was scared? They said that they thought we were high men coming to collect them, to kill them for their body parts. I kid you not. It was the first time I ever heard, I knew about high men in Liberia, but high men for me was they took you and they kidnap you. I didn't know what they did with you, but I knew they took you to kidnap you and they killed you, but they didn't take you. I didn't know about body parts. The girls told us that that's what they do. So they were very scared when they saw us. And plus we were in a black car. And it's usually politicians that grab them. My cousin Michelle asked her. That was the first time I heard about it. So when I hear people, in the community saying, oh, they're grabbing people to take their body parts, it's easy for me to say, you know what? They must have seen something or they know something. Yeah. For the police to come out, maybe we sensationalizing it, maybe. But if you take one human being and you cut the body part, that's enough for people to get scared. One human being, it's enough for you cut somebody's body part, where you're doing witchcraft over here, it's enough for people to be upset. So for the police to come and downplay it the way they're downplaying it, and of course the answer now is anybody caught posting stuff on social media that is false, you will arrest them. What do you know to be false?
It's 22 hours.
You are not telling us, thank you, Charlene. You are not telling us what you are going to do or what you are doing to keep the citizens safe. You're not trying to calm the citizens down. Instead, you're threatening the citizens that anybody caught posting stuff on social media, you going to deal with them, which they actually did. I believe somebody from a political party was arrested because he posted a picture or posted a story about somebody body parts being taken. Like, really? Really? Liberian National Police? Yeah, it's become political instead of trying to save the people. Yeah, y'all might tell me when you come out of your country because my body is fresh.
First of all, I'm here, so I have no opinion because I ain't trying to get locked up.
We're looking for virgins.
Okay.
I ain't trying to get locked up. I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna say this, okay? I'm gonna say this as if our women, girls, our children don't have it bad enough by getting raped and there's no redress.
Yeah.
Now you have communities who are concerned that people are popping up missing because people want to grab the body parts. We had our Solicitor General on social media discussing with his alleged girlfriend about sacrificing goats and cows and virgin hairs. And we think it's a joke when somebody in the community come and say, you know what, people are being kidnapped. So I would say, if I come to the airport and want to arrest me, I didn't. I didn't. I got my lawyer in Liberia and I got my lawyer.
Do me a favor, don't ask me to pick you up, okay?
You will pick me up. I will call you. You will pick me up. You will pick me up. You will get my bill money and you will pick me up.
I mean, it's just to be on the safe side. People should try to communicate more when they're going to places, the people have their own instincts. If you go into a new neighborhood, or if you're traveling on public transport to areas that are, exclusive, that are quiet or secluded, you should try to communicate with people. So that I know people be sneaking, going to their girlfriend and their boyfriend places, and you want nobody to know. But yeah, putting all jokes aside, you have to communicate with people
Yeah.
when you are going certain routes that are not familiar to you, just to be on the safe side. You don't have to tell them what you're going to do there, but at least try to make it a habit of letting people know when you are leaving and when you have arrived,
Yeah.
so that you will have that, back up in case something happens.
Yeah. And now you know. But anyway, so and I know sometimes this is a serious issue. Sometimes we laugh, but I always say in Liberia, you laugh because you will go crazy if
People
you really
crying.
laugh. Yeah, for our own mental stability, we eat or drink or we just laugh. So with that said, Miss Yardea, talking about self-care, this it seemed to be a new word now for us. I actually asked my aunt, and then I asked my aunt, my cousin, my younger cousin, so completely two different age group. And I just wanted to know what, like, I asked my aunt, I said, when you hear about self-care, what does it mean? And her first response was physical, making sure your hygiene is okay. And of course, when I talked to my little cousin, her reaction was, no, it's the mental, it's the emotional. And I started laughing at both of them. So I said, I did that on purpose because I know the age difference. People seem to think about it in different terms, but neither one of them were wrong about it. But within our community, the Liberian or the African community, I don't even think we talk about this. You mention is, some people will say, oh, that new word you're not gonna come up with, a new phrase, but self-care. What is your definition of what self-care is?
Okay.
Y'all get ready to that free therapy deal.
Oh, yeah, I did not put on the glasses.
Free, this is free therapy. This is good free therapy.
Serious.
Ayaka.
Okay.
So,
Basically, when we talk about self-care, right? It's a process not only of just taking care of yourself, it's taking care of those behaviors that promote your health and actively managing any type of illness you may have. So self-care is not a luxury. In this day and time, we view, when we think about self-care, we think about elaborate events like, oh, I'm going to the spa for a massage, I'm taking a travel trip. It's not a luxury. Self-care is very basic and it's priority, okay? It's a very key and integral piece of our mental wellness, okay? Especially when we think in the frame of us African women, where there's this image of being strong, of being resilient, of carrying the whole world and the family and your communities on your shoulder. That piece of self-care has to be put within our regimen, because there's no way we'll be able to care for ourselves, our families, our communities, prevent our own diseases if we don't take care of ourselves. Okay. So self-care, like I say, it's very basic. It's not typically an activity. It's usually a behavior. Let me give you an example. Self-care can be setting boundaries. It's very hard when I think about it. When we come from countries such as ours that are communal, where it's not individual focused, right? You think about yourself as a group. Either I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm somebody's mom. My role is usually a communal role as opposed to an individual role. With that being said, setting boundaries is important. You have to know when to say no. I can't do this today. I cannot go to another party. I cannot cater another event. I cannot host another wedding. I cannot give of myself something I don't have. So learning to set boundaries learning to say no, asking for help. Asking for help is such a strong sign of strength. And for the most part, we shy away from that. We feel like because when we buy into this role of the strong Black woman, the strong African woman, that she can't ask for help. So we suffer a lot in silence. Okay? But asking for help is a big step. Learning to put yourself first. Sometimes everybody gotta wait because it's about you. You can't give something that you don't have. So learning to put yourself first, taking a step back, taking a step back from all these priorities, just learning to spend time by yourself. This self-care Sunday routine, I'm really buying into it. I'm really enjoying this, taking time for yourself and spending time alone. It's necessary, asking for what you need. Everybody else is asking you, and you're in the position where you try to feel like I need to provide and overextend. Okay, switch the tables around. Ask for what you need. And I know it's very uncomfortable because I know I'm someone from my upbringing. You don't ask nobody for nothing. You work hard, you double down, you do what you have to do. But honestly, it's not always healthy because you cannot always provide everything that you need. So ask for what is it that you need.
As
Reflect.
you are
Go
talking
ahead.
about asking for help, taking a step back, learning how to say no. These are all things that I, of course, either have experienced or have seen somebody close to me not do. And because they didn't do it, it caused their breakdown. And from that, as I've gotten older, I've learned that saying no is not a bad thing. Yeah, if I'm not able to do it, I'm just not able to do it. If it's going to break me, I'm not able to do it at that time. I'm not able to do it. And also putting yourself first. We're often told, especially as women, mothers, wives, girlfriends, that it almost sounds selfish when you say, oh, I'm putting myself first. But my mom used to tell me something. She said, if you cannot take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of anybody else. And she said, when you get on the plane, what do they tell you? That if something is happening, even if you have a child, you should make sure you're secure first, and then you take care of the child. And that, it stuck with me because I watched her didn't practice what she told us. And I saw, the breakdown, what it did to her. So, when you said that, I was just kind of like, oh, wow, yeah, that's true. And maybe we need to keep saying it to each other all the time, be selfish. It's okay to be selfish when it comes to taking care of yourself.
They always say you cannot pour out of an empty cup. And, that's where self-care, self-love, self-appreciation starts from. It was something that I learned for myself at a really young age. Thanks for nursing school and doing psychology for a long time. But that's something that a lot of people don't know. And most of the times we have problems with anxiety and depression and all these different things because we have not practiced that fundamental part of knowing ourselves, because within self-care, that's when you know your levels of tolerance of different things. And it is not something that has to be programmed or from the book. For me, maybe every 2 weeks, I buy my candle. If I got money to buy candle, if I got money to buy candle, that's fine. I put soap and water in my tub. I have my bubble bath. When I was in school, I remember then they used to have pizza at Royal for $20. At $20 on my whole week receive money. I would starve myself the whole week. We got Friday. I won't buy my pizza and eat it. And I felt up to now, I felt that's the way of me taking care of myself. You know, sitting down, going for dinner, having quiet time, listening to music and dancing until my feet get sore, you know, or walking on the beach, just doing anything just for myself that I like, because you get to understand yourself more. You get to have peace with yourself, with your environment. You even actually use that time to think about things that you want to do, you know, reconsider decisions and other things that you didn't feel comfortable with. And that is something that is missing. You know, a lot of people will only do things that are supposed to be for self-care because other people are looking at them. You're doing it for impression. So we all have this strain on our bodies, on our minds, about whether we can impress other people with how we take care of ourselves instead of actually taking care of ourselves. So, you know, if my friends are not coming to me for me to splurge $150 on it at Royal, then they will not know that I can take care of myself. If I don't buy in Ferragamo, they won't know I can take care of myself. Whereas it could even be you just taking a taxi that day, since you have not taken taxi for a long time. So let me get in a taxi from Broad Street to Oro and listen to the conversation. That just anything simple that you do on your own time for yourself. But yeah, I feel is the simplest things in society and the simplest ways that, you know, we can get ourselves to recalibrate, which is, you know, missing.
And you know, as I was we usually list like the maybe 4 dimensions of, I guess, having a healthy balance. Emotion, there's environmental. That was new for me when I read it. It said it was 8 dimensions for a healthy balance. So we talk about self-care. So our emotions, the environment around us, financially, intellectually, occupational, physical, social, and of course, spiritual. And, you know, now the next question would be, why is this so important for us to have to practice self-care? Why is that so important for us? Yardea.
It's very important because it's like when I think about your self-care, your mental health, right? It's like that foundation on which everything else is built.
Mm.
If you don't have that solid foundation, I don't care how far you go, how much you accomplish, it's not going to be long lasting, correct?
Yeah.
It's gonna somewhere it's gonna crumble because you don't have that foundation in place. And in order to start to set that foundation, we have to get back to the fundamentals, right? So when you broke it down, girl, you went all the way Psych 101, talk about the whole 8 dimensions of self-care, right? So when you talk about that whole emotional piece, and for the most part, when I think about growing up very much African, growing up very much Liberian, we talk. We are talkers, but we are superficial talkers.
Mm.
We are not deep talkers, right?
Yeah.
So we may talk a lot, but it's not always about what matters. So when I think about I know I struggled in the beginning of my training about I think as general I'm an emotional person, but how do you express that emotion? How do you feel comfortable in talking about what is it that you feel? How do you process what has happened? You know, when you talked about, we do a lot, and it's for survival. We do a lot of processing via either alcohol or joke, but it's a way of us trying to process what is actually going on. How is it that we're actually feeling? You know, so those 4 range of emotions, just trying to get to it. Either, you know, we are communal types people. So you talk to your friends, you may talk to your pastor, your imam, people at your work. Here in this country, we're not so very much communal. So you hire me and you talk to your therapist, okay? You journal, you do art, other things just as a way of connecting and expressing and processing those emotions.
Yeah.
Okay. You talked about also practical things. That's what your aunt was alluding to when you think about that generation. When
Yeah.
they think about practical sides of self-care, they think about your self-hygiene.
Yeah.
Taking your shower, making your bed, getting out, making sure you cook something, you sleep, you eat. That's the practical side of self-care. When I'm working with people who are going through depression, you do it for yourself, even work on yourself. I do that. It's called opposite to emotion. The day when you start to feel real crappy, I don't want to get out of this bed. I want to lay down here all day. I don't want to, I want to, I just want to lay down and feel sorry for myself. Do this tactic. It's called opposite to emotion. Push yourself, get out of bed. Everything that you don't want to do, make yourself do it. Shower, put your little eyeliner thing on. You got to do full face makeup. But guess what? When you start to look better,
I can feel
you
better.
start to feel better. So like remember when we let to dip and get dressed, and maybe that's a coping
Dress up.
coping mechanism. That
Yeah.
opposite of emotion, that practical side of self-care, taking care of yourself. Claudia touch base on it when she talk about, sometimes, especially when you have this hectic lifestyle where you just jump in the shower, taking a tub bath can be a luxury,
Yeah.
So schedule that. Then there's the physical side of self-care. And sometimes with age and time constraint, you have to be very intentional about that, right? Getting your walk in, getting your daily exercise, eating right. If you are overthinker or you are chimney walker, midnight stalker, like some of us who do not go to sleep all day, just walking up and down, trying to get yourself into the mindset of practicing good sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
I need to try to turn this mind off. I need to lay down. I need to sleep. Turn the notifications off your phone, So all of that's part of the whole physical sphere you're touching on, Salamartu, about self-care. Then get into the mental space of self-care. What are some activities that you do that actually stimulate your mind? So this is what we're doing right now, having, discussions, talks. Those are all mind stimulating activities. Like I said, reading an article. I haven't read a magazine in a while. Sometimes even if we're all listening, we're all learning different styles, right? We're all not very visual. Some are auditory. Some things always have to be going on in the background, right? So even sometimes listening to podcasts as you clean or as you go through your days, listen to some inspirational TED Talks or whatever, just something that stimulates that mind, keep you going, keep you thinking, for some of us people who are a little bit more on the creative side or the artsy side, going to things like going to the museum, going to see a show, going to see a play, something that gets you in that mindset of stimulating your intellect. All right. Personal peace, you spoke a lot about that before, about honoring yourself. What do we give our energy to? What do you enjoy? That doesn't include always catering for somebody else.
Yeah.
What do you truly do that you enjoy for yourself? There's almost like going back to your childhood, sometimes finding hobbies. Did I like drawing? Did I like sewing? Getting back to it, So things like that, trying to find something new. Maybe everything else has become boring and redundant. I've been there, I've done that. I feel like I'm in a mental stump. I need something new. I need something exciting, So try something new, step out of your comfort zone. I will tell, I have challenges in decades. And I remember before I approached my 30s, this was my challenge. Because, in our 20s, and for the most part, with me saying that we are communal people, we tend to base our socialization and our happiness on other people, right? So if I want to go to a party, I'm going to ask Claudia, I'm going to ask Salamartu, I'm going to ask Charlene, bye, you're going to that party on Saturday night. Charlene said, bye, how long we are going? No, I'm just relaxing. Claudia said, I got to go plait my hair. Madu said, my man come here, me and him chilling. I'm hanging on Saturday night. Guess what? I did not doing. She not going on Saturday night because these 3 ladies are not available. No. Challenge yourself. Do some things alone. I had it on my bucket list for 30, go out to dinner alone,
Yeah,
go to a movie alone. I have not done the travel alone part, but that's bucket list before 50. Gonna go on a trip alone. So certain things are very, our mind is said that we have to do these things with people, you know, but you can actually step out and you can find yourself that you enjoy that. Because once you're a social person, you can go to dinner and maybe not sit at a table, maybe sit at the bar and strike up conversations with other people at the bar. You know, and go to that party. Whoever there we enjoy, what's to that party, we move when we come home. You know, so just things that always does not have to be fixed on me. My enjoyment has to be based on somebody else accompanying me. You know, so just thinking about that. You know, that piece. And the whole financial self-care, that's a lot of that conversation went on last week, you know, talking about conversations. We really didn't have that financial literacy 101 coming up as we were a cash-based society, make money, spend money, make money, spend money, you know, so we never really had the whole being credit worthy and having your financial goals and all of that. So, you know, now talking about it, how do you practice financial self-care? You know, how are we managing our own financial goals, cutting our shit according to size, not overspending, you know, how to seek that help and information. If it's something that I'm not good at, how do I reach out to somebody who's more versed in what, you know, in giving me some type of financial wellness tips and how to save. Oh, I'm halfway to a retirement. I haven't saved a dime. How do I play catch up? Kids, you know, you're 5 to 9, whatever. So sometimes just goes back to that whole thing about self-care when we said asking for help, right? So that will come right in on page with that, you know. Spiritual self-care. That's a difference between being spiritual and being religious.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know most of us, our upbringing, it takes a lot of religious background and traditional practices when it comes to religion, and it's Wednesday Bible study, Sunday school on Sunday, acolyte practice on Saturday, blah blah blah. So we went through the routine. This is how we're doctrinated, this is how we grew up, and this is what we practice. But then as you grow older and you find yourself, and as my grandma used to say, you get to know God for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Then to me, at that time, you transcend being spiritual, being religious, and become more spiritual, because now it's more of a personal value and a personal choice versus something that's passed down by tradition, right? So now with you, what are some activities that you do to nurture your own spirit?
Yeah.
Now, oh my God, Liberia, I don't know how we can be spiritual in that country, because just at once with the vast, that Atlantic Ocean, just looking above, I know every time I come back home, I stand on my porch and I look across at the Atlantic and I say, oh my God is a she, by the way. And my God is an artist. You know, because it has to be a woman that does something so beautiful. I'm like, my God, it's an artist. It's an artist. They're so beautiful. How can you just stand, just look at something that takes your breath away? It makes you feel some kind of way within your spirit, just gives you that connectedness. That's a woman, man. But anyway, that's for another day, you know? But that
is a woman.
So something bigger than yourself, you know, whether you meditate, whether you do yoga, whether when you go to church, wherever you find that activity where you can feel, dedicate yourself to the spirit, however you see it, however you feel it, however you experience it. That's a very, very integral part of self-care.
You know, a lot of what you're saying, the tips that you're bringing, it sounds so simple. And you would think that, like, why are we not doing this? Because I've always told myself too, I'm like, you know what? I need to go to dinner by myself. I'm one of those people who, you know, I must be calling somebody, you know, you're going to be there, you're going to be there, you're going to be there. Even though if I stay home, I let it be with myself. but I'm one of those people, when I go out, I want to know like who's going for me to go out with them. But everything that you're listing, it just sounds like this should be very simple for us. It's not costly. So why do you think we just continue not to do some of these things?
I think for the most part, because, we view self-care as a form of being selfish.
Hmm.
And self-care is not interchangeable with selfishness.
Yeah.
Putting yourself first is not interchanged with you depriving other people from what they need to have.
Yeah.
And I think we put ourselves in these superhero type personas. So it's hard for us to step back and say, how do I take care of me and take care of others? It seems like it cannot go in the same sentence when
Change.
actually it does. You all gave great examples of that before, right? About how, they give you the whole analogy of you got to put the air mask on you before you save the child and you can't pour out of the empty bucket. We know all of this, but how much do we actually internalize that? So I think sometimes it just becomes so difficult. The constraints of it is because we feel that we're taking away um, from others if we take time out for ourselves.
Hmm.
So I think that's one of the biggest reasons people may not engage in self-care. you know and then when you talk about some constraints of self-care too, is time and means.
Hmm.
We find ourselves living this high-pitched society where everything we're going fast, we got to get it done. 24 hours is not enough in a day, blah blah blah, right? We're going so fast that we feel like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to go take care of myself. I don't have time to go be doing no meditation. I ain't got time for no yoga class. I hardly got time to get through my work for the day. How can I keep on piling something else in? So we see self-care sometimes as an added task, an added chores, right? Or sometimes we view self-care as, like I said, as a luxury. So what's the means? I don't have the means. I don't got no money for no spa day today. I ain't got no money for no massage to go get my hair done, blah, blah, blah. So we always see it as an activity that's connected to some type of cost. So now if you view self-care as a luxury, obviously that's going to become a constraint, because now it's an added bill. Not only is it an added chore, it's an added expense. Okay. So I think it's all about the mindset and how which we view self-care and the things that we can actually do that we do call self-care, you know? Yeah.
I think self-care should be, well, I consider self-care as my payment to myself.
Mm.
When I was what, 11, 12, my mom made sure that I did my own hair. So I would sit and I would braid my own hair for school. And that was my main time. And in as much as I cry and my hands got tired, but as I grew older, even now, I got a whole salon in my house. I can do whatever it is I have to do. I can do my nails, my hair, and for me, it's the way of taking care of myself. Even my friends, if I'm out with my friends and I see your nails looking somehow, I am kind of sarcastic in a way, because I'll be like, you can polish your nails, like you can polish your toes. What's up with your toes? Why your hair not laying down? Because it's like the 2 minutes or the 5 minutes that you're going to give yourself to appreciate yourself. And I think it also helps you with your confidence, because you get to understand parts of your body that gives you confidence. Obviously, if your hair fine, you on fleek, your nails on fleek, you going out, you smiling more. If you brush your teeth properly and you go on a little makeup, you more confident in different spaces. So I'm okay if there is a cost attached to it. So if I can afford to set aside, what do they charge on Macklin Street now? Say maybe $10 to go Macklin Street, on a sidewalk and go and do my nails. That should be a cost that I'm adding to my monthly bill as my own treatment. If I can afford $50 to go and do my pedicure and my manicure, that should be a cost for my own well-being, you know. And it's something that I think it should be kind of mandatory in our lives for ourselves. Sometimes just if you live along the beach or if you live closer to the woods, just nature alone helps you to improve on your self-care. But for me, it's more of discipline in understanding that you should keep yourself first, because you cannot pour out. And if you have not put yourself to that equilibrium where you are happy with yourself, everything else around you gets irritating. You don't have proper conversation. You're always angry with everybody. You always, fighting everything in every situation because you have not brought yourself to a place of peace.
Okay, so I think our challenge for all of us here, well, yeah, they already have her Sunday self-care. She's already in the group. I think for all three of us, maybe let's challenge ourselves. If we're doing one thing, let's add another thing there that we're gonna do that will just focus on us for the rest of this month, and hopefully next month we can be very comfortable in doing it and then add something else. Maybe make a bucket list, a short-term bucket list, something that we can accomplish within the next month. Like, like going to dinner alone. Because I'm somebody who
listening to music alone.
No, that one
like
not do it all the time.
Completely different for 30 minutes without no phone
call. That one is, yeah. But going to dinner, because I love food. I love to eat, and I like people when you're eating.
Like to eat, he likes to talk.
Oh, shush. Yeah, I like that kind of environment. Yeah, you sit and you get food spreader, you talking, you eating. So maybe let me take a step back. And for me now, this is what I'm gonna do this month. And find a time with maybe once a week and just go out and eat alone and enjoy my own company.
You said once a week?
I let her eat, what a problem?
Yeah, once a month, that's fine,
Yeah, I do nothing. I ain't no poor country man doing nothing. But no, go ahead, Charlene. I was looking through some of the comments on here.
No, I truly enjoyed the conversation. I think when we talk about self-care, we always think about the superficial side of it, and it's just about the physical appearance, which obviously benefits our self-care, right? But when you started to talk about the spiritual, the financial, and all those other things, it kind of makes sense. It all just, falls into place as to how it makes 100%. So the self-care with your beauty is 20%, and the other ones go 20, 20, 20, you get to that 100%. So it was actually a really good conversation to hear other ways of self-care as opposed to just our superficial, beauty tips and things like that. So that's really good. I really appreciated it.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's a question on here, is by River Says Pro. Well, you're pro in River Says? Is overly making up. Is overly making up a sign of deception and misrepresentation of oneself? I guess putting a lot of makeup on.
That's a good one.
Yeah, is it a sign of deception?
Who's being deceived though?
Well, the person who putting the plenty makeup on, he's there. I guess he's trying to ask, is that a sign that the person is trying to deceive someone or misrepresenting themselves?
Okay, let's say I am the person that's putting on too much makeup. Am I deceiving myself, or am I deceiving the person that's seeing me? It's a deception.
Yourself.
Person, I mean, for me, it's the each his own. I don't wear makeup because of other people. I barely wear makeup. But I don't dress for other people. And maybe it also came with age. 45 years old. I like to dress up. if I wake up in the morning and I feel like I want to do my face, I do my face. If I wake up in the morning, I feel like I don't want to do my face, I don't. So, but it came with age. I can certainly understand when I was younger, what dressing for, the guys, what we thought might get attention.
Weren't even dressed for the guys, were dressing for our friends, the girls.
No,
Because-
no, I mean, yeah, no, I'm being honest. We were dressing for the guys. We used to go out for the guys. At
Yeah,
that,
to attract the guys.
yeah, but that's who you're dressing for. As I got older, I realized that I'm not dressing. As I got older and understood men and started to understand myself, then I realized that, you know what? Who give a crap? Because what, they will never be happy. So
But
because I
that's
like,
you were saying, that's where it flips. Because when you're younger, you're dressing for the
Yeah.
guys, trying to attract them, right?
Yeah.
Then when you start getting older, when you're still dressing, you start dressing for your female friends because they're checking you out more than men are checking you out as what you're wearing. Women are like, oh, she got a Louis Vuitton bag. No man cares if you got a Louis Vuitton bag.
but you see, now I'm a little different. I understand that. And I've been around women who say, I dress for other women. I've never been that girl to dress for. It was either when I was very younger, I dressed for the guys because we used to go out to go book the guys. But as I got older, it was never about the women. If I like something, I wore it. If somebody else tell me, you know what, oh, I like that, then that's your business. If I feel I look good in it, I'll wear it. I've never been the one to be interested in like a certain name brand bag. So it just never, I'm just not interested in it. It for me, it doesn't make me look better. It doesn't make the other person look better. It's just their preference. That's what they like. So I've never been into that. My love is experience. That I'm a very internal person. If I like it, if I see something and I like it, if I like it, I like it. And I guess that's where people always say, when I'm passionate about something, I'm passionate. If I believe it, if I believe it, I will fight for it. If I believe it, you go up, you come down, you can paint it green, you can paint it blue, and I'm for it. Yeah. I'm very internal. And so I'm about experiences. I'd rather go on a trip. I'd rather go to an event rather than buy a purse or buy a certain brand name shoes. Not saying I don't like shoes, but I'd rather, if somebody gave me $5,000 and say, go spend it on clothing, it would never be like a bunch of name brand. It will probably be, I like H&M. that wallet, yeah. But I might buy some clothes, but it would be clothes to go on a trip, and I would use that money to go somewhere or go to an event. That's my thing. So again, to River says,
Well,
is about perception, I guess. Anybody else about this makeup and deception?
Let me see. For makeup, for most women, is an interpretation of how they feel when they wear it. Sometimes it is just out of sheer ignorance because they don't know how much it is, but they feel that it makes them look beautiful. Other times, they know exactly what they are doing. For example, with our mobile spa, somebody will come and tell you they want their eyebrows all the way here. And if you tell them that, it's not going to look good, that's how I want it, because they feel that makes them look more beautiful, or it makes them, sexier. They feel happy in themselves. So wearing makeup varies from person to personality.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel that there is a certain limit to wearing what is acceptable or what makes you in tune with yourself. And I feel that if you go a certain way, it's because you are shielding yourself. That means you're not confident of yourself. I do know some, of my friends that will never go out without makeup.
Mm.
And in those kind of situations, I think that I got a cousin that she knew how to even draw her eyebrow before she if you knock her door, she will draw her eyebrow as she's walking. That's how good she was doing it. She would draw it before she reached to the front door, And
Yeah.
I felt that was completely related to low self-confidence,
Yeah.
because you cannot do anything on your own without adding that piece of makeup to you. That is a
You were
different
living in Liberia with that heat?
yes. So if this is what you're asking about, for me, I would say yes. It has to do with self-confidence, self-esteem, and how you feel, depending on your habits. If it is something that you just can't do without. But if you're going, for example, if I'm going for a red carpet event or I'm going for a really high fashion event, I would beat my face. It may look a little bit distorted, but for that moment, it is appropriate because it is for the photography. And that's what I want to achieve. But if I'm not going for an event and I just decide to do that every day, then I consider that an issue with oneself.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I say
So,
something real
yeah,
quick?
go
I
ahead.
don't personally, I don't think it's an issue per se. I think it's a self-preference. There are some women who get up every day and feel there are some, I mean, like, look at these gorgeous women, Beyonce, Cardi B, all of them. They're beautiful women without makeup, but they wear makeup, even if they're just, I mean, granted, they're celebrities, so naturally you want to be seen with all of this glitz and glamour. But I think it's a self-preference thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be equated to being insecure, because
No, not that type of makeup I'm talking about, though.
no,
Not daily makeup.
I don't care if it's just simple lip gloss or if it's a full face beat. If a woman decides that's what she wants to do, then I don't necessarily want to equate it to being insecure. That might just be her thing. Maybe that's how she feels that she looks beautiful. That doesn't necessarily mean that she thinks she's ugly without it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's preference. And again, the preference is there are some people who feel like they're not fine without it. There are some people who feel that, you know what, they just like it.
It's not even not feeling that you're not fine without it. You may know that you're beautiful without makeup, but putting on that lipstick or something gives you that extra boom or whatever it is, and then you keep it moving. But it doesn't necessarily mean because you got lipstick, you're not, damn, I'm not fine. No, it's just
but I
that
think there are women who are like that.
well,
That's
there
what
are,
it is saying. Yeah.
there are.
There are different. There are different. I deal with people with
Yeah,
makeup. I deal with
yeah.
beauty and stuff. There are different levels.
Well, there are
And
definitely.
obviously there is a
there
point.
are no women who don't have insecurities. That's why they wear makeup. But we cannot say that all women who wear tons of makeup have insecurities. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're totally wrong, but we should also realize that there are some women that wear makeup and are super confident and wear tons of makeup at that.
Yeah. I think I'm just lazy too. That whole makeup every day and coming home and washing it off, and then the heat. Yeah. I rest my face. I think I have a very beautiful skin. I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, I acknowledge that I have beautiful skin. Knock on wood, nobody might wish me, but I have beautiful skin and I am lazy. What is that? Yeah, I lazy. Yeah, to put makeup on, it's work. I just the other day learned how to do my eyebrow. Just the other day I want to learn. I'm like, what is this? Can you imagine every morning somebody wake up and then in the evening you gotta wash the thing off? Yeah, no, yeah, that
was wash your face anyway.
No, but a different kind of wash. You gotta wash your face, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, you put water on. The makeup you got.
You don't want to wash your face.
Oh, yeah, too much.
You won't put makeup on it.
It's too much. Yes, it is. But as we're talking about October, we're talking about self-care of mental health issue is a huge thing in Liberia. I always feel that we came through 20 something years of civil war. Everybody walking around like everything fine.
Yeah.
And all of us were affected some kind of way, even for some of us who may not have been on the ground. Some kind of way you're affected. There's something, we all have our issues with the war. But so October is not just mental health, it's actually depression and mental health awareness month. And these are some of the issues that we tend not to want to discuss within our Liberian community. But this month, let's try to, at least we're using our Facebook pages to just kind of focus on mental health education and depression awareness. There's a lot of information out there. WHO, the World Health Organization, there's a lot of organizations out there that are that have information on mental health awareness. So let's just try to, put it up on our Facebook pages. And as I was reading about, the month of October and mental health is also like National Depression, is Health Literacy Month, is ADHD Awareness Month, is Bullying Prevention Month, and I love bullies. So again, yeah, I love bullies.
And also breast cancer.
And yes, and it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I beg you, let's try to use our pages to educate our public. Let's talk to people within our household about mental health, because sometimes we just think that it's not an issue. And I don't know if we have time to discuss this last topic regarding our mental state when you actually break up or you go through a divorce. And the reason why, it was so appropriate for mental health. Okay, let me confess to you. So I watch a lot of like murder mysteries. Yeah, I watch a lot of murder mysteries. I watch Snap, Women Who Kill, 48 Hours. And there was a series recently on, so you can see where I'm going. Yeah. So there was a series that's called Dirty John. And they have like 2 seasons out. The first season they take real stories and they reenact it for that season. So the first story was just about this guy who married this woman. He was trying to suck her dry. He was just a phony guy, fake doctor, blah, blah, blah. But the second season was about Elizabeth Roderick. She's known as Betty. I don't know if you all knew this story. I remember this story. This was a I gotta be very dramatic when I tell you about this story. So Betty Bex. Betty married this guy, Daniel. When Betty married the guy, he was in medical school, and then he decided he didn't want to be in medical school. He wanted to be a lawyer. So he went to law school, and while he was in law school, she kind of took care of the family. She was having children. She ended up having 4 children for him. Actually 5, 1 died. So she had like 4 children for him. He graduated from law school. He got a great job, became a partner in the law firm. They moved to California from the East Coast. They moved to California, I think San Diego, and they started living the life. He was making money because he became a partner in the law firm. Well. He hired a 21-year-old receptionist. When you hired a receptionist, she met the receptionist by accident, saw a beautiful young girl. Over the course of maybe a year or 2, she suspected that he was cheating. I mean, they really had like a really good relationship, like they were in love, kissing, everything. So she started to suspect that he was probably having an affair with this girl. He denied it. He was like, no, I'm not having an affair. And he would like calm her down, blah, blah, blah. Well, she goes to the office, a couple of years, she goes to the office one day, and it's his birthday. She goes to surprise him, and he's not there. The receptionist is not there. She had asked him to fire the girl, and he told her, he said, I'm not going to fire her because I'm not going to allow you to tell me how to run my office. So anyway, so she goes there, they're not there. And of course, she gets this feeling that he's loving to this girl. Come home, she gets upset. And Betty's attitude is out of there. I mean, she's not a are you doing something? And she let it go. She's wild. She takes she take all her clothes, she's burning it. She know for a fact though, but she feel it in her heart of heart, and he's telling her no. So they started having little problems, and of course he decides to move out. He moves out. When he moved out, she wanted him to, she said it was a break they were taking. He was moving on. Let me just put it that way. But for her, it was a break because he really didn't tell her that we were through. It was just that I need my space. So she believing that we still got it, he needs a space. Goes to his house, not there, but she takes the 4 children, take them to the house, leave them on the doorstep, fly to the East Coast and go spend her dad's birthday because he was supposed to go with her and he decided he wasn't going. That started a chain reaction that just went downhill from there, because then he filed for divorce. He filed for custody and he won custody of the children. And he was giving her money. So he was giving her money. At this point, he had moved in with the girl. And then according to her, she said, she confronted him again. And she said, look, just be honest with me. And he told her, say, yes, when you thought I was sleeping with her, I really was sleeping with her. So now he's with this woman in a different house that they were supposed to purchase together. He and the wife now filed for divorce. And this guy was a well-known lawyer. He was like president of the Bar Association in California. Just very experienced. Betty snapped. When you say snap, Betty snapped. Betty did not want to, everything her lawyer was telling her not to do, she would do it. She would call him and curse him on the phone. She would call the house and cuss the girl on the phone. And as calling, he would record it and take it to the court. So every time he goes to the court, he wins a case. He would give her money voluntarily, even though the court didn't mandate it. So he was trying to, I guess, do the right thing in a way. But Betty was done. They go to court. So now, she's angry. She doesn't want to accept whatever money he actually on paper want to give to her. She just upset. Her thing in her mind was that I want my husband back. The man marries this girl. So this is maybe like 8 years later. They have been going through this thing for like 5 years. So 8 years later, the guy marries the girl. And of course, it escalated again, her behavior. Going to the house, driving her car in the house. Yeah, Betty was no joke. One day, Betty decides, this is maybe about 5, 6, 7 months into the people's marriage. She gets a key from one of her daughters, because he had custody, but I think one daughter had graduated already and went to college. The other daughter had moved out. She was old enough at this age. And then there was the 2 small young boys. Betty got the key, took the key, stole the key from her daughter, go to the people's house at like 5 a.m, takes a gun, walk up into the bedroom, shoots the woman first while they're sleeping. But when she shoots the woman, the guy wakes up. She shot 5 shots, killing the woman instantly. The guy wasn't dead. He tried to reach for the phone. She grabs the phone, takes the phone out. And she said, according to her, his last word was, are you happy now, or something? You've killed me. And he dies. She goes on trial. And this is where the story becomes a national topic. Did he drive her mentally crazy? She actually went to 2 trials. The first trial was a hung jury. When you hear the jurors talking, they're like, well, he sent the woman crazy. What you expected her to do? So they couldn't, But the second trial, they found her guilty. And she was sentenced to, I think, 30-something years to life. She had 2 parole that came up within that time frame, and they denied both of it. And I think she's up for parole maybe within the next 20 years or something. She's in her 70s. She has no remorse for doing it. Like, not even now. She doesn't regret doing it. And I wanted us to discuss like our mental state of mind when we go through a breakup. And for me, honestly, and this is her story. She wrote her book. So it's not like Hollywood is portraying her as something else. She told her story, and the woman was, man, at some point I'm like, girl, you got to move on, baby. Yeah. You got to seek help. You got to move. All her friends told her, they all testify against her because they all told her, it's like, girl, you have to move on. You got to let this go. And she was just like, no. And it wasn't that it was the money or even the children. She wanted him back. She didn't want to move on. She wanted him back. And the fact that he left, and because he was a lawyer, so he was able to make sure half of his asset didn't go to her, it pissed her off even more. So I really wanted us to watch. I see someone saying Acrimony in the movie. But Acrimony, I mean, I sided with the crazy for a little bit. Betty was something else. And Betty told her story. Betty was wild. Betty didn't take no prisoners. She was just like, call them every day, cuss both of them out. She didn't care. Her sons were listening. Her children actually tried to talk to her. She was just like, nah, yeah, I don't care. She will go to jail. She will cuss him. She will, I mean, she was just done after a while. And I think it set her off when she went back to him and asked him, was I crazy when I asked you the first time? And he said, no, you weren't crazy. I was, and she was just like, all right, I'm coming for you. Mm-hmm. So Betty was hurt. So yeah, I really wanted us to, we're running out of time, but I really wanted us to talk about like a breakup because I've seen a lot of people. I know a lot of people who, when they break up, it's nothing good. Most of when I break up, I can cry. Yeah, that's the extent of my crazy. Driving the car, calling the person and hanging. Oh yeah, and I'm on a thing. My mental thing, I will cry. I let her cry. Yeah, I cry.
Maybe. Why are you smiling small?
Cry. But what do y'all think? I mean, I just gave you a story because it just. I mean, it's one of my stories I watched.
For me, well, not from the professional view. We got a professional there, but for me, I think everybody have, based on their orientation, they have a way of dealing with defeats, and sometimes you already know how you deal with that defeat before it even happens. Talking about instincts and self-awareness, because with relationship you can sense. It's rare that you find those stories where you hear that the woman really did not have any clue at all that certain things were happening, but most time you sense over a period of time that you are being defeated, and you have all that time to calculate what you want to do about it. So yeah.
Now you act like that actually.
I think it varies from person to person, and also it has a lot to do with your own upbringing, your own society.
Damn it. When you had put that out there prior to the show, and I was trying to get thoughts together and notes together and things, talking points to discuss. Something that came up to say that, at the end of a breakup, whether it's a relationship or a marriage, right, it causes some type of psychological distress. Okay. And distress is on a continuum, and we all experience it differently. And I think that's a lot to what Claudia was speaking about. Sometimes that distress can keep you from moving on. You spoke about that, Matu, when you say, oh, I just move on. Some people stay stuck in those emotions. Yeah. It's hard to move forward, because, and you find them being jaded, having trust issues, cannot engage into another relationship, whether it's intimate or a friendship, because you're holding on to what has happened based on your previous relationships, right? And then a lot of feelings can come up. People can feel angry. Your anger and how you display it may be very different than what my anger looks like.
Yeah.
Some people do not emote, so the anger silently You know, they might be the one who will be, you know, trailing you and following you. They might pull up Betty. They may not be outwardly fussing and cussing the girlfriends and chasing her. It might be someone who will be very quiet and doesn't seem to emote and may just deliver you the heat, you know? So it all in the continuum, that anger. Also having that resentment. You know, for some people, when the relationship ends, they're confused. Like, this is what I deal with living a toxic type, you know, relationship. We always had this up and going, hellish fighting and screaming. So why are you walking away?
Yeah.
You know, some is fear, some is shame. I know when you talk about, you know, our community, a lot of people stay in relationships because, oh, what will it say when I leave my husband, or what would it say when my wife leaves me? So it's shame. There's a lot of shame that causes based or decisions on it, right? It's very shame ridden. Um, and then there's a lot of anxiety during a breakup, man, you know, during and after. You know, you start to second guess yourself. You talk about your own insecurities. What is it about me? Am I enough? You know, all those different things start going through your head. Or what is it? Am I attracted? Why am I always attracting losers or whatever it is, you know? So those insecurities, depression, you talked about it. Depression sometimes sink in. And then what you're describing with Betty is having intrusive thoughts, you know, like I want to pop him.
Yeah.
You're gonna die today. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. So sometimes those are actual and the genuine intrusive thoughts. And if that person does not seek professional help or have somebody to walk them through it, remember we talk about processing our emotions, they can do a Betty on you. They can go into the house when you're sleeping and do whatever, because those thoughts keep on coming like, if I can't have him, she's not going to have him. She's not going to be married to him. I'm going to go there and that's going to be the end of it. And those intrusive thoughts, imagine that thing is playing in your mind 24/7. Eventually you're going to act out on it.
Yeah.
You know? And then hopelessness. Hopelessness can be a feeling like, man, you know, I don't want to be without this person. I don't want to start all over. I don't have another relationship startup in me, you know. So some of those are the common feelings, you know, that may come from a breakup. And, you know, some behaviors you see people will start to isolate themselves, you know, start to spend a lot of time alone. They don't want to go around their friends. They don't want to talk about it. Or then again, some people can start to engage in some very high risk behaviors. You know, you see some people may become very promiscuous after a breakup, like, look, yeah, I'm on the prowl, you know, I got to make myself feel better, you know, get over him by getting on to whatever, you know what I mean? So sometimes that whole situation, some uncharacteristic behaviors you may see some people start to engage in, some addictive behaviors like drinking and drugging and gambling and things of that nature. A very interesting stat I saw here. And I'm just going to state that, and that's from the whole American Sociological Association. It says a divorced man consume more alcohol than married men. Listen to this.
What?
Divorced women consume less alcohol than married women. So I thought that was very funny. You know how the tables turn and how the stats go. That, you know, like, so the divorced guys are drinking, you know, drinking more. Guys who are not in committed relationships or ongoing relationships tend to have more of an issue with alcohol. And then, you know, single ladies or divorced ladies drink less than a married woman. So, you know, do I need to stay twisted to stay in this relationship? What's up? You know, so stuff like that is just very interesting to see that little stat come up. But you
So
know,
we always know they didn't want a problem.
Oh, that's another topic.
Yeah, when we
I mean,
influence, they didn't want a problem.
I think it is good. People have a lot of different mental, and people can snap for different reasons. You know, some people will endure a bad relationship for 10 years. Some people will endure it just for 30 seconds and they will just flip.
Yeah.
But again, it is with your self-care, you know. If you have time in understanding yourself and taking care of yourself, you obviously will have ideas on your limits and what you can tolerate. And it will help you in your relationship in making some decisions. If you're lucky and you have good people around you to help you.
People will give you
Yes.
advice.
Yeah, sometimes people actually snap from the people that they talk to for help. If you have the wrong people, they're just going to send you straight down the cliff without any breaks, you know. There are a lot of factors to consider, but I think it starts from within oneself.
Okay, well, if you're just joining us, I wanted to kind of go through some of the comments here, but we're out of time. So Yardea, you have to come back on. You
I
have to.
know
Yeah.
this made me feel like, this just felt so natural and it just flowed, it was effortless. Great conversation. Great conversation,
You
ladies.
have to come back on. Today we were talking.
Yeah, stop hiding behind that sun.
I know.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
We enjoy that part of the self-care. We enjoy the environment.
Like, wait, let me fix this camera.
We enjoy it. Like I said, just let me know if anybody coming from behind me. Yeah, but thank you so much. You have to come on. You have to come on again. I hope you're not doing anything next week. So our yeah, Bina won't run away from us. But
but on a more serious note, we do have a lot of people in Liberia with too many mental health issues, and we can talk about it one time. It has to be a long process. So we're not asking her, we're telling her.
Oh.
Yeah, so well, maybe what we can
tell me, so gotta oblige.
No, because like a few months ago, I was actually looking for a counselor for a teenager who felt that his life had taken the wrong turn and there was no God, and he just wanted to do anything bad because he felt that he wasn't blessed enough, or God, he's not loved. And I really needed someone to just sit and talk with him. And I couldn't find anybody. At all. I couldn't find anybody. And most times people end up going to the church if they are religious. But then with this is a special, the church would do, they don't have that special skill, they rely on divine power, but that is not enough in understanding the psychology or processing what the person is saying. So most times it's really hard to help people that need help in Liberia, even with our friends. So I think we should continue.
Yeah, no, Josh, you're coming back.
No, but I think what we should do is, since there were so many different tiers to self-care, maybe we can break it down. So each conversation we speak specifically about what type of self-care that, will be our interest that week.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good.
And, remember, self-care is all about you. It's not being selfish, but it's all about you. What may work for one person may not necessarily work for the other person, but it's all about routine and what is comfortable for you. So we also want to use our social media platform during the month of October to talk about mental health issues. And when we're home with people around us, we should also use the opportunity to educate them, even if it's in our little ways that we do it. Talk to them about it until we can have a community or environment where we have more Yardeas to come and talk to a lot of the young people. So let's at least get people comfortable enough to be able to want to share what they're going through. I think that's key. As it is right now, people just, but initially we don't want to talk about it, let alone if we find a therapist. It's like, you want to talk about it, you're not talking to the therapist. So let's try to get people comfortable enough in understanding that there's no shame in whatever is happening. Let's learn to talk about it. So we have somebody like a Yardea that's around to help them. So next week, same time, same place,
Tell the people you brought the time in from, no?
Yes, the time. I will not say who, but we had to change the time to an hour earlier. So instead of 5 now, it's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means it's 8 p.m. Liberia time, which means it's 9 p.m. British time. Yeah, I gotta call it UK time there.
Yes.
Yeah, UK people are very fussy. So yes, we've done it an hour earlier. So please tune in next week Sunday, where we will be talking about some. Well, you know, in Liberia, we don't get bored for hot topics.
Never a
What kind of
dull
feeling will happen next week? We're in the next 5, 6, 7 days.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Happen.
we will talk about mental health and social media venting.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, we
Ooh,
have
yeah.
seen a lot, so it's actually a good time to
Mm.
talk about it, whether it's from breakup or whether it's from marriage or from just dating.
And talking, we're not discouraged anybody from venting on social media because me, I can enjoy it.
No, the chief will go and study and let us know
Yeah.
the goods and bads. So
I don't want to hear anything bad, but because me, I can enjoy it.
No, but we also have to include Yade in our hot topics. So she's aware of what's happening. So we get her perspective as somebody that's kind of removed from the Liberian setting as to what is happening here in Liberia.
Because your sister and brothers on the ground, yeah, they crazy. They're nuts. And I love it.
It's quite funny. The first time I came to UK, you know, here they say, "Are you all right?" And in Liberia, when they say you all right, it means something wrong with you. So I walk into the store and the lady said, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And I'm just looking at her. What do you mean I'm all right? I'm not all right. And my cousin like, no, she's speaking to you. I said, no, but you mean I'm all right. I'm not looking at Christy. She said, no, are you all right? It's greeting. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh God. Yeah, we too fussy. We are very fussy. But yeah, so thanks guys for joining. Hey, Mrs. Finley, our other lawyer. She got
Hey, family.
No, we don't need Betty in Liberia. We don't need a Betty-nology practice in Liberia at all. Betty was off the hook. So today we did discuss self-care, focus on mental health, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we have Miss Tanya Yardea Young joining us. She's a therapist and that her area of specialty there. So next week she's gonna come on and I like the topic that Claudia suggested, mental health and the social media venting. I love it. So hope you guys can join us next week. Please share the information with your network as well. And if you miss anything, you can always go to social media pages. We're actually on Salamartu and Friends. We're on my personal Facebook page. You can get it also from Charlene's page, Claudia's page, or you can go to www.salamartu.com and then you can watch the previous Salamartu.
Pin it on there.
Yeah, Salamartu. And I beg you, anybody know that one more year? You please let us know.
That one, oh no.
But we chat on, talk to her. Yeah, what's that?
We can research.
Yeah, find her. I looked her up and I know she was alive, but it would be nice to, So all right, guys. So good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Great week.
Have a good one.